In this video, we're going to talk about data type and typecasting. So, before we talk about data type, you must have known what a variable is. A variable is the name given to a memory location that holds a value. Now, data type talks about the type of value that a variable holds. Okay, so typecasting deal with converting the type of value a variable holds from one type to another. This is just a statement you understand better when we start typing the code. Okay, now there are different type of data type. Okay, we have the integer, which holds number, both positive or negative. We have the float, which holds decimal numbers. We have the string, which holds a string of character or text. We have the boolean that holds true or false. We have list that holds a set of value. Then we have tuples that still hold sets of value, but the value that tuple holds is not changeable. You cannot edit it. You cannot modify it. Then you have dictionary that holds key value pair. Then you also have sets too. Okay. So for us to discuss this type, we have to deal with them one after the other. And talking about data type, typecasting, when you accept a value from the terminal, for example, it comes in as string. Let's say you want to add to number, you accept the first number, it comes in as string. You accept the second number, it comes in as string. Those numbers are in string, like they have double quotes with them. You have to typecast them to numbers, to integer variable before you can do something with them, before you can perform an operation on them. Let's say add them, subtract them, whatever you want to do them. Okay, so that process of converting it from one data type to another data type is called typecasting. Okay, now let's talk about variable first. Okay, my terminal. Let's clear screen. Let's create a script file called data type.py. Now, like you all know, before we start typing, we have to hit I first here to switch to insert mode. Now, talking about integer, let me put comments. Integer. Talking about integer, you can declare a variable with a data type integer by just assigning a number to it. Let's say 4. You can say y equal to 6. Right? This is an integer data type. X is equals to 4, y is equals to 6. See, data type is integer. Okay. It can also hold a negative value. You can say -6. This is an integer. You can add, subtract, do whatever you want to do to it. You can add the values together. X, let's say z is equal to x plus y, print bracket open x. Okay, now the first variable x is equals to 4, integer. The second variable y is equal to 6, integer. Now z will now hold the value of x plus y will now be stored in z. Now you now print out the value of z rather. Okay, now to save, remember, escape first, colon wq, hit enter, then you can now type python data type.py is 10. So 6 plus 4 is 10, or 4 plus 6 is 10. So now let's go back to our code. Now this is how you can also perform other operation. Let's go on I to switch to insert mode. You can also perform multiplication, division. We'll talk about this when we go into operators. Yeah. And then move to the next one, which is float. Let's say you want to declare a variable to hold money like amounts. The best variable to use is float. So to declare that 3.5. If you are using declare a variable with height, you need to use float. Any variable that involves you using point something, it has to be float. Because if you use integer here, let's say you did some calculation and you made some change, your integer will just cut it off. Let's say distance that you have in centimeter or something. We can still use float for it. So this is the difference between float and integer. Integer is for a single value, float is for a decimal value. Okay, you can perform all the operation. Let me switch this is a float. So you can perform all the operation that can be done on integer on a float too. Addition, subtraction, multiplication, everything can be done on float too. But just that these values are kind of unique and used in certain conditions. Okay. Let's move to the next data type called string. Now, a string is just a collection of characters. Okay, you can name, for example, is equal to David. Now, the character in double quote is called string. It can be a list of characters and numbers together. It can be just numbers. It can be space and numbers, space and text. But so long as in a double quote, it's referred to as string. So what do you use string for? You use string for probably name, sentences, just etc. So let me give an example of what you can use string for. First name is equal to David. Put a space here because I'm going to concatenate this string. Oh, sorry. Equal to David. And last name is equal to SAS. Right? Now let me see. Full name or full underscore name is equal to first underscore name plus last underscore name. Now what this does is it concatenates. Concatenate means join. It joins the first name and the last name and make it a single string value. Unlike if this were to be numbers, it will just add them together. But in string, it just gum them together. That's what I want. So let's print out full name. Print full underscore name. Okay. Remember escape colon WQ. Hit enter. Let's execute. Now we have an error. Let's go back to our code and correct it. So our error is the name. Oh, hit on I first. It's the name. You didn't spell it correctly. So let's go back again and execute WQ. Let's clear the screen. And execute. And you can see it has printed David Osas. Alright. So that's how it works. So let's go back to our code and go on to the next data type. Insert. Let's clear the screen. So the next data type we're working on is called boolean. Boolean data type holds true or false value. Okay. Example is something like is admin is equal to true. Like you notice, I use the cap letter T for true. It's always necessary to use the cap letter for boolean values. False, cap letter F for false. If not, it just gives you an error. So it's compulsory when you enter true or false in boolean value. It should be capital letter for the first text. Okay. So this is how you declare boolean value. I'm not going to show you. There's no example for me to show how it's being used. So let's move on to list. Okay. Now, list is a data type that holds collections of data. For example, let me declare a variable called students for you to see what it does or how it's being used. This student will hold list of names. David is a comma. This is not a dot, it's a comma. Samuel is a comma. It's not a dot, it's a comma, please. And John. Now, this is a list of value. This list of value holds collection of students' name. It can be string. Sorry for my error. F level. It can either be string or it can be collections of numbers. Let me show you how this can hold number. Let's declare another variable called grades. Beg your pardon. Grades is equal to 45, 36, 25, 63. So a list can either be a list of string or a list of integers or a list of floats. Just the collection of data. Okay. Now to print out this to the screen or to access it, we'll discuss that when we're working on the full list. We'll have a separate video for list, which will talk about what can be done with list and what can be done with other variable data type. Okay. So for now, this is how I declare a value or a variable in list. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Let's talk about tuples. Tuples are just like lists, but unlike lists, they are immutable, which means values created in tuples cannot be edited. Okay, it cannot be modified. You cannot modify it. Let me give you an example of a tuple. Let's see, school name. Because name of a school never changes. Bracket open. You can say Niger, comma. You can say ICC, comma. You can say other school name can I put? Let me say Unicoach. Right? Okay. Now this doesn't change. Okay, you can access the value easily, do whatever you want with it, but it doesn't change. Okay, you cannot modify it, you cannot choose something else. All right, that's how it works. This is tuple for you. Meanwhile, tuple can hold both string and also values, like numbers rather, also numbers or floats. So it's just like list, but just that it doesn't change. I remember this has this curve bracket, okay, but has this four corner bracket, but tuples have this curve bracket. All right, never forget that so you don't mix them up. Now let's talk there's a variable data type called dictionary in Python. Dictionary in Python. So what is dictionary data type? A dictionary data type is a data type that holds key value pair. Alright, let me give you an example of key value pair. Let's say a course, for example, or a subject, physics. So this might have a key value of students that attended the class and their grades. Okay, a key value pair might be a user that log into a particular thing, a particular website, the name and the time the user logged in, or the name and email. So that's a key value pair. So let me use an example called user is equal to, note the kind of bracket I'm using is curve bracket. So the curve bracket, the curly bracket rather, or what they call mustache. Some call it mustache. Okay, the curly bracket, double quote, is it? Username, name, then colon, double quote, John Doe is the name of the user, comma, is the comma and it's not a dot, is a comma, it's not a full stop. Email, double quote, colon, double quotes again, John at gmail or gmail.com, double quote, then end to dial curve brackets. Yeah, so this is a user. Okay, let me change this one to John. Let me shorten the email so that to be online. Okay, now this is a user, this is a key value pair. The name is the key and the value is then the John is the value, email is the key, and joe at gm.com is the value. So you understand? So it's called key value, key value, key value. This kind of variable is called dictionary. in Python. Okay, this kind of variable is called dictionary variable or dictionary data type in Python. Alright, so we have other but that the few basic that I'm going to touch. So in the next video or in the next video I'll attach it to this one. We'll talk about typecasting.